Well,
Yeah.
thank you for getting on the show with me today, Dave McLaughlin, and it's been a really exciting week. Just to recap, last week you told us about a little bit of what's going on with the interest rate. What do we know this week with interest rates and mortgages?
Yeah, great. So rates stabilized. What you saw last week when the not the inauguration, that's today, but when the Senate went straight Democrat, we saw the quickest rise in interest rates we've seen in a couple of years. But that's not saying much. They're still historically low, and then they stabilized. So no one really knew where they were going. But right now we're still below 3%, in between that 2.75 and 2.875, which is still historically low. And I think we're going to be fine. And then today's the inauguration. And everyone's saying, what's the rates going to do today with the inauguration? And the answer is nothing. That's just a ceremony. The rates already changed. They've already been baked in, as they say. So I think we're still fine. But I did want to point something out for our smart shoppers. The difference between buying today and waiting and see if the rates go up even 0.5% on a $300,000 mortgage. If you wait and rates go up 0.5%, that's going to cost you about $87 per month, which is about $29,000 over the life of the loan if you hold it for 30 years. So it doesn't seem like a lot. It's not the end of the world, but you do want to try to take advantage of this buying power, and don't delay. Try to buy something today.
Right, and I like that for smart shoppers. You and I are in the grocery aisle often enough that we hear smart shoppers get the deal today. Well, this is the deal today with the incentives, with this interest rate and all the opportunities. We're helping people decide. What are the number 3 questions you're getting this week?
So I usually get a big thing. Hey, how's the interest rates? Obviously we just discussed that. So they're still historically low. So now's a great time. And then the other thing we always touch on is a lot of people are moving here that are retired. And we hit on that last week, but I want to hit on it again. There's a lot of people, I'm doing 5 of them this week, 5 potential buyers that are retired, and they don't have that predictable, stable income stream. So they don't think they qualify. So they were getting ready to pay cash, which they didn't want to do because their retirement funds are doing so well. They're earning more than 2.75% in the market. So we're able to get them qualified using what we call a required minimum distribution with their financial advisor. So income is the second biggest one. And then the third thing I would say that we're getting is, are we at the top of the market? I get asked that all the time. Are we at the top of the market? I know you do too. And I tell people, unlike 2008, where everything was speculative and we were on a dodgy finance market, right now it's a natural supply and demand. And I don't see it changing anytime soon. There's very few places on the market, so it's going to keep prices up. And then with these interest rates driving traffic, so I think the appreciations continue to go, and you're constantly giving people the real numbers, which is amazing. I think Sarasota was up, I think you said 8 or 9% last year. So don't be one of those people to come back a year from today and wish they would have bought in January 2021 when they could get the deal today, like you said, because it's going to be more interest rate next year, and the price is going to be higher too.
Absolutely, because that's just what happens with supply and demand. And this last week in Sarasota County, we had 175 closings in 7 days. And that was Manatee County. In Sarasota, we had 249. And we're still sitting a good price point for the low number in both counties at 106 and 155, and the high numbers were just 1.6 and 2.6. So it wasn't our extreme highs that we saw at the end of the year, people making those decisions at the end of the year, but we have the full range, and we have a lot of jobs in this area. Of course, I always talk about Sun Hydraulics, Turvis Tumbler, Tropicana, and PGT Windows. But there's all these other businesses that are here that are supporting this dynamic: warehouse businesses, distribution business, construction companies that are hiring people. I'm passing cranes on the road. They're driving back and forth between east and west parts of the county because of all that's going on. Can you see some other things that we need to touch on this week to help people better understand what we have going on in the Siesta Key area, all the way up to Anna Marie, down to Nokomis and Manatee and Sarasota County?
Well, I think the big thing is, jobs, like you said. So unlike 2008, people have jobs. So if you do have a mortgage with the ability to repay. When Dodd-Frank was passed, you had to have predictable streams of income, and you had to have jobs, good paying jobs that support the housing market. And we have that. So that's what we mean by natural supply and demand. So it's not a speculative market. We say natural supply and demand. So the jobs are driving the housing market, which is a great sign. So, people don't need to be leery. They don't need to be nervous. I think there's never been a better time to buy. And a lot of people are, I get this a lot too. You can sell a home. You're seeing that with your clients. You have many great programs that you talk about, but you're able to sell a home today pretty quick, which then frees up the equity to buy your next home. We're doing a lot of simultaneous closing, Sandra, where you can sell a home, take the money, and then close on the new home in the same day. That eliminates a lot of stress from people thinking they have to have two separate moves. They don't. If they work with someone like you or I that's been doing this 20 plus years, we can help them make that move easier with logistically.
Okay, and by the way, Dave and I have been doing this for over 20 years. Simultaneous closings are not difficult for us because we know absolutely every nook and cranny of that contract, of that process, and we have our eyes and ears open for anything that's going to the left or to the right of that process, which takes a great crew to do that. People are going to want to give you a call today. What's the best number for them to get a hold of you, Dave?
The best number is 941-724-7653. You can text me, you can email me. I'm available after hours. So whatever you need, just feel free to give me a call or a text.
That's awesome. I appreciate you. Do you have anything else you want to add today that we haven't covered?
No, I think that's just it. The other thing is there's a lot of people that are just moving to Florida. They're sitting in Boston, they're in New York. I just saw that Sarasota, you've been saying it with the real numbers, kind of plays out. Sarasota was number 2, I saw, inbound traffic since coronavirus, right?
Yep.
So the number 2 place in the United States where people are moving to. So our secret is out, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of people are moving here and they can do remote work, meaning they can keep their high paying job from Boston and New York, and they can post up here and work remotely. And we have programs for that too. So good stuff.
We sure do. Thank you so much, Dave. I appreciate you and have a great week.
You too, Sandra.
See you soon. Good job.
Bye-bye.